Alright, Shalom, Kahalaim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash, double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sincere Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone, Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Lord, when this lesson is edifying to the elect, this is going to be some words on the current news right now with this bill being pushed or trying to be, they have here, it says Florida bans children under 14 from social media. So they pushed this bill through in the state of Florida where, children who they call children under the age of 14 from using various social media platforms. Okay, and this is a perfect example of the trickery of the so-called white man, who according to the Bible is known as Esau Edom, okay, who is the father of the Esau Edom. He's the father of the so-called white race. And according to the scripture, they are a race of devils and demons. Okay, and this is going to be a good example. Why? This is a good example of they are ordo ab chaos. Okay, this is a perfect example showing you that these people are the descendants of the serpent in the garden. They are the descendants of Cain. Okay, spiritually, that is. They are the same people coming back. Just like a serpent is crafty. Actually, that word serpent, when you look up in Genesis, you actually look up that word in the Hebrew. I believe it's nachash, which means a wizard, a warlock, and a sorcerer. Okay, it has nothing to do with an actual animal. Okay, it was an actual man who understood how to manipulate people. He understood psychology. He understood how to play with people's minds, and that's what he did with Eve. Okay, and this is another tactic of the serpent. Just like the scriptures say, which I'm going to play this video, but before we start, I want to read this real quick. Right? This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2. 2 Corinthians chapter 2. So like 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13. Well, I'll start at 14, get to the point. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, he just like a serpent. Reason why the sorcerer in the book of Genesis was referred to as a serpent. The reason why that word wizard is interchangeable with serpent or a snake is because the nature of a snake is to slither on its belly. They don't come straight. They don't have legs, so they creep. They're very creepy. Okay, they don't come direct. They don't come straight up. They are deceptive. They are a deceptive nation of people. So they show you one thing so that your attention can focus on one thing, but little do you know, they are really doing something else behind, with their other hand that you can't see because you focus on something else. That's the sleight of hand witchcraft that this nation of people have perfected. Okay, starting with their elites, of course, which call themselves you know who's. All right, and you have this guy Ron DeSantis, right, who is the governor of the state of Florida, who is a so-called conservative Republican. And the whole thing with the Democrats and Republicans is straight up witchcraft, with the red and blue, right, opposite ends of the color spectrum, representing two extremes, what they call two wings, which is of the same bird. That bird being Babylon the Great, America, the eagle that the scriptures speak of, which is a spearhead of the Roman Empire coming back. All right, the great whore, which rides the beast. That whole political system is straight up witchcraft, right? The red, now and they swing back and forth between the Democrat. They give you a Democrat for 4 years and go super left to the people get tired of that and demand the right to go back, the pendulum to swing the other way. Then they go all the way right to the people get tired of that, and then they swing back and forth. And that is what they call democracy, right? But even with the so-called democracy, which is what people rule, that's what the term democracy actually means. People rule. Democracy. The people, first of all, don't know what the hell is going on. The common people, they don't study law. They don't study judgment. They are not morally upright, especially the people of America in this day and age. They don't know right from wrong. They are morally corrupt. So they should not even have a say in anything that takes place within the government, within the well-being of the state. Okay? These are people that went out and voted for a woman simply because she is a woman. Meanwhile, we are in the most volatile point in U.S. history where whoever sits in that office, that presidential office, and has access to these nuclear codes is going to have to be someone very competent and very level-headed. Okay, but they'll be okay with potentially going to World War III and getting this whole country nuked just so that they can see a woman in the Oval Office, showing you these people should not have a say in anything that goes on in the government. That alone. Okay, but that, with that being said, you really think the elites of the world and the people that are actually in power, that are actually pulling the strings, you really think they're going to leave the decision making to the common people? Hell no. They're not that dumb. But they allow the people to believe that they have a say, that their vote counts. Right? And you got to be an idiot to believe that your vote counts. Okay? So the whole thing with democracy, with people rule, is basically mob rule. Basically mob mentality, herd mentality. Okay? Through the media, right? Like Fox News, CNN, mainstream media, even your music industry puppets like Diddy and DL Hewley and all these people. Every 4 years they come out the woodwork and basically tell you what you want. Like Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And niggas went out and voted for him because they wanted to be black. They didn't want to get their black card taken away. So the media tells the people what they want, and the people say, yes, I want that. And then they go vote for it, thinking that they're getting what they really want when they was programmed from the beginning to to think they want, to want what they want. And they don't even wake up to what's really going on. Showing you that these people should not have a say at all, but that is the format that this country chose to, go by. Right? Which, that's how the Roman Empire was somewhat when it was a republic. And then it went from being a republic to an empire. Right? So the same thing is going on in America today. They're allowing these people to think they really have power, by a government, by the people, for the people and all that. But we really see that we're moving into an empire, and whoever gets ready to sit on the throne, the presidential throne next, which we, believe to be Donald Trump, who is Nero Caesar, which we believe started with our apostles and elders, is Nero Caesar coming back in his lot, right? The empire is going to strike back. The empire is going to come back. But we believe that within this next presidency is going to be the last president. That whoever sits next, whoever gets in power next, they're not going to let it go, because they have to come with their new world order agenda. Democracy is done. They're done with that. That was just a tool to trick people into getting in line, willfully getting in line. But once you get in the line, they're going to bring the chaos, right? And then they're going to bring the order. And this whole thing is one big example. This whole thing with this social media ban is an example, right? Who created the social media? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Who created these things? YouTube. They were all created by Esau's intelligence agencies, like the CIA and the NSA, the FBI had a hand in these things, right? And these different organizations take orders from the elite, which are you-know-who's, people that own the banks. And they use these social media platforms, which that in itself is high-level witchcraft. You got these people using these social media. So you are being trained to socialize through Esau's media, not in real life, in real time, how the Most High intended for people to socialize. You're going through Esau's media to socialize, which can be manipulated in a microsecond. You got these algorithms and explore pages showing you whatever the hell Esau wants to show you, and you think that's real life, right? But it's programming, and then you feeding the system with all type of information, your personal information, which they can, put into their AI machine, supercomputer, and generate all type of predictions about you. Accurate predictions, right? That they can use to manipulate you even further. And the damage that has been done from these social media corporations like Instagram, being a millennial myself, I actually was in school when, Instagram came out, and I saw, what it did. Really, more so by the time I was graduating, after I graduated, we were really like the last generation of children that grew up without smartphones. We grew up, we had cell phones, but we didn't really get smartphones like that, like until I was, about to graduate, which is when, smartphones really became popularized. And even then, they weren't like they are today. But these young children now that actually don't have any memory of a time where they didn't have social media and smartphones are totally through. Their minds are totally gone. And this is evident. They cannot separate the internet from real life. They see shit on the internet, they think it's real life. That's why, when we were young, you used to see people do pranks, but they're obviously fake pranks, you know what I mean? But you got these younger children, they grew up watching these prank style videos, and they can't tell that the shit is fake, and they go out and recreate, try to do the same shit. But they don't, before the camera on, they don't tell a person, hey, this is fake, we about to do a video. They go out and do shit for real and get, shot, get killed, right? You had niggas like Boont Gang really started that shit. So these people, then they don't know how to talk to each other because they don't talk in real life. Everybody's on the phone, which the smartphone, the invention itself is what's called a scrying device, which is nothing more than a crystal ball. Okay? Just look up scrying and do your research on what they call LCD display, liquid crystal diode. Okay? Your phone is literally a crystal ball. It's literally a portal. Okay? It's really a witchcraft tool. But the Lord allowed these devils to push this tool, and there's no enchantment against Jacob. So we use these tools to push the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We use these medias like YouTube to push the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But you still have to guard against, overusing these devices, because they still can, mess with our minds, mess with our spirits. Okay? When the scriptures say there's no enchantment against Jacob, ultimately, if you are a part of the elect, someone cannot take you out using witchcraft. They can't deter you from the faith using witchcraft, right? But if you allow your spirit to get weak and you allow yourself to be taken because you are not locked in like you're supposed to be, they can have an effect on you. We are incorruptible flesh. We are in hell. Like, demons can't fuck with us. Yes. Okay? Spirits can mess with you. Spirits come through these devices, in and out. Oh, TikTok, that's a whole nother one. Straight up demonic, man. You got TikTok, you swiping on different pages. Those are different channels, right? That's why you switch the TV, they call it a channel. Well, also they call it a media, right? Well, when you go see a psychic is also known as a channeler, or a medium, right? Where the spirit, they actually are like an antenna that can tune in to a certain spirit, and that spirit speaks through them. Nothing more, nothing less than your television device picking up a certain frequency and you getting a visual as well as audio. So a spirit, which is a frequency, is an energy speaking through a TV. It's the same thing as a spirit speaking through a person. Okay? So with all that being said, I'm gonna play this clip, right? Like I said, Esau, he allowed this social media shit to come. He created it, he pushed it, and it was all planned to do what it's doing right now, to destroy the minds of the youth. That's what it was intended for. As well as to feed their AI supercomputer. Okay? But at the same time, he's going to come with the solution, which is digital ID. Okay? The solution will be, okay, if you can't use the internet at all unless you're a certain age, but that's nothing more than that he's proposing that as a solution to the problem which he caused, but really that's nothing more but another loophole that they're going to use to push more draconian measures, more wicked legislation. Okay? Because like the woman is going to show you in the video, how do you prove that? How do you're going to you ban children under 14 from using social media. How do you prove who was 14 using social media? Bingo. You see, this man is a devil. All right, you got to question everything this man does, especially in this day and age. Everything you see these devils do, you have to question why. Who benefits from this? Follow the money. What is this really about? Understand, this man is a devil. He is the devil and the father of lies. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. Okay, Psalms 58 says what? They go forth from the womb speaking lies as soon as they be born. So their nature is deception. Okay, that's why the Lord likened them to a serpent. So let's play this real quick.
Wednesday, no one under the age of 14 will be allowed to have social media accounts in the state of Florida. Florida's HB 3 will allow parents to decide whether their 14 and 15-year-olds can have social media and requires age verification on sites deemed, quote, harmful to minors. Erica Donalds is a guest faculty member at the Leadership Institute and the CEO of Optimate. She joins me now. Erica, thanks for getting up with us this morning, but I just got to know, how do you enforce something like this?
Key word, like she said, how do you enforce something like this?
Well, that's the problem, and thanks for having me this morning. That's the problem with the patchwork of legislation that's come in the form of bans of all types in 10 different states, including, of course, now Florida, where we're not even going to really see enforcement of this law until it moves its way through the courts. You know, we have to be very careful, especially in the states, of running amok of both parents' rights and constitutional protections, and that's what we're seeing in the form of these lawsuits. That's why a federal action is so important to stop this patchwork and allow for...
Okay, you see, so they are offering a so-called solution to a big problem, but their solution only brings another problem. You see how these devils work and operate? Because on one hand, yes, this shit has destroyed the youth, but at the same time, who's really most responsible are these children's parents. The blame shouldn't be placed 100% on the operators and CEOs and executives of these different social media platforms, which they are guilty. They are actively working witchcraft. They know exactly what they're doing. But at the end of the day, if you do your job as a parent, then you don't have to worry about these things. Right? But because you have such absent-minded parents and these people really don't care about their children like that, they would rather leave the parenting to the school system and to social media and throw them a tablet and say, get out my face. Go, here's a tablet. Here's some cup noodles or some microwavable Kraft macaroni and cheese, is straight poison and plastic. Here, eat that. Get this tablet and don't bother me. I'm going to be in the room on my tablet, on my phone, doing the same shit. Talking about these so-called black women, really. And these so-called white women. And it's just the whole generation of American people, man. Right? But this is how these devils operate. This is how the left hand works. So how are they going to be able to prove this? This just simply opens the door for the conversation of digital ID. Okay? How are you going to be able to verify your age on these social media devices? They're going to require you to use your identification. Okay? They're going to require you to put in your information, which that opens the door for digital ID. which they want to make it law. If you actually go into their plans, you go into their agendas, go into the 2030 plan, you go into the World Economic Forum agenda, what they want to do is basically have it to where nobody can even use the internet, period, unless they, once you have to log into the internet with an identity. You can't just anonymously scroll the internet. They don't want that, because they want to stop the flow of information. They don't want people to be able to just randomly go on the internet and search and look up all the wickedness that they do without them knowing who you are at the very least, and they're able to come get you. Okay? This is how the famine of the word is going to come. This is how Esau is going to try to cover his tracks. He don't want people to, be able to talk and communicate and organize and be up on game, because at the same time, that is a benefit of these different social media platforms, right? There's a good and a bad to it. More bad than good, but Esau wants to shut it down so that you can't even have access to the good at all. All right? And, I don't have much precepts, but I'm going to read this one right here. This is Revelation 13. Okay, this is also really setting up for the MOTB system. The Internet of Things. Okay, where every device is a so-called smart device, which you have an actual acronym for that term smart, which goes back to the military coin. Okay, this smart, everything smart tech, that's all military technology. Okay, having a smartphone, smart TV, smart refrigerator, smart this, smart that. Okay, you just watched the movie Smart House, a Disney movie 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago, they showed you what their plans, what they want. To basically put everyone in a digital prison where you're monitored, tracked 24/7. 15-minute cities, right? No personal property. If you are given permission to go somewhere, you get picked up by an autonomous vehicle. Okay? If you step outside and go where you're supposed to go, you got drones in the sky that come scream at you till you go home. If you don't, blow your ass away. That's the type of shit they got coming, where everybody is chipped. Okay? And they're going to use ordo out of chaos to bring forth their measures. They understand they can't just come with it directly. They want the people to ask for it, and not only ask for it, but to demand it. They want the people to beg for imprisonment. And that's what they did in 2020 with the lockdowns and shutdown. People were afraid to leave their house. So that's what they're trying to bring back. Okay? This is Revelation chapter 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb. And he spake as a dragon. This beast is speaking of America. Okay? And it says he had 2 horns like a lamb, horn representing power. The 2 horns of America's power represents this 2-party political system. It's 2 sides of government, which are the horns, the power players, the people that so-called control things, which they're in the positions of the people that push the buttons, but there are people behind them standing over their shoulder that are not members of the government, but are handling them, which is what they like to refer to as the shadow government, right? But it says they had 2 horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. Now, a lamb is known for being a very docile, soft creature that you don't have to be afraid of, so to speak. But a dragon is to be very afraid of, because a dragon could mess you up, right? As a predator, it's vicious. So this beast that came out of the earth with its two-party political system presented itself as a docile, creature, if you will. And that's the whole model of America. The land of the free, home of the brave. This country, you can enjoy the pursuit of happiness. You don't have to worry about government tyranny. All right, we are by the people, for the people. This whole concept of democracy, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, these things were unheard of prior to the invention of America. It was an experiment, and that led to capitalism and the free market and great arts coming out, great inventions, great movies, everything. But that shit is done now. All right, that shit is the experiment is almost complete. Now it's time for the draconian measures to be presented, and that's that beast speaking as a dragon. Okay? And that's how these devils operate. So right now you see these conservatives like Ron DeSantis, acting like, oh, I'm going to stop this pollution with the social media. I'm going to clean up my state. Meanwhile, he's just being controlled by the same entity that the blue side is being controlled by. But his job is to make it look like he's against them. And that is political theater 101. Okay, and meanwhile the people are begging for beg, we need to ban our children from using social media, when all you got to do is just take the fucking phone from them. But what you don't know you're doing is begging for more draconian measures, which are going to lead to the MOTB system, which is going to lead to your total enslavement when they push that digital wall. Okay? So that's it goes on, of course, to speak of the charagma, which we should all already know. So that's just something I wanted to speak of. I didn't even want this to go on that long. Hopefully it was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom. Yehovah Bashmiel Shah Brakatah.